Good afternoon all. This is Satish Kumar, Assistant Professor of EC Department. Now let us see the another video lecture series on overlap save method. Sectioned convolution. The response of an LTA system for any arbitrary input is given by linear convolution of the input and the impulse response of the system. The impulse response or input sequence is very much larger than the other. It is very difficult to compute the linear convolution for the following reasons. The entire sequence should be available before convolution can be carried out. This makes long delay in getting the output. Large amounts of memory is required to store the sequences. In this technique, the large sequence is sectioned or splitted into size of smaller sequences. Then the linear convolution of each section of longer sequence and the smaller sequence is performed. The output sequences obtained from the convolutions of all the three sections are combined to get the overall output sequence. There are two methods of sectioned convolution. They are overlap add method and overlap save method. In the previous video, we can already seen about the overlap add method. Now we can going to see the overlap save method. In overlap save method, the input signal can be splitted into size of smaller sequences x1 of n, x2 of n, x3 of n. M minus 1 zeros in x1 of n and x2 of n can be discarded. That is nothing but your overlap save method. We can combine and discard the input of the x3 of n. We can get the overlap save method output. This is the output signal y1 of n, y2 of n, y3 of n. We can discard m minus 1 points. In y2 of n also we can discard m minus 1 points in y3 of n. Similarly discard m minus 1 points. This is the another example. Same we can representing as that in terms of overlap save method. Now we can see the problem. Find the linear convolution of x of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1 and h of n is equal to minus 1, 1 using overlap save method. x1 of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, h of n is equal to minus 1, 1, 0. Now we can multiply y1 of n is equal to x1 of n into h of n. By using matrix multiplication method 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. We can multiply and then add. We can get the output sequence y1 of n is equal to 2, minus 1, minus 1. Similarly for y2 of n, x2 of n is 3, minus 4, 4. H of n is equal to minus 1, 1, 0. y2 of n is equal to x2 of n into h of n. 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 3. Minus 1, 1, 0. Now we can multiply and then add. We can get y2 of n is equal to 1, minus 1, 0. And then y3 of n. x3 of n is equal to 4, 3, 2. h of n is equal to minus 1, 1, 0. y3 of n is equal to x3 of n into h of n. 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 3, 2, 4. Minus 1, 1, 0. Now we can multiply and then add. We can get y3 of n is equal to minus 2, 1, 1. y4 of n. x4 of n is equal to 2, 1, 0. h of n is equal to minus 1, 1, 0. y4 of n is equal to x4 of n into h of n. 2, 1, 0, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 2, minus 1, 1, 0. Now we can multiply and then add. We can get y4 of n is equal to minus 2, 1, 1. Now we can combine all the outputs. We can get the overall output sequence. N is equal to 0 to 9. y1 of n is 2, minus 1, 1. y2 of n 1, minus 1, 0. y3 of n minus 2, 1, 1. y4 of n minus 2, 1, 1. Now we can discard the m minus 1 points. We can get it as y of n is equal to 2, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Now we can see the difference between overlap add and overlap save method. Linear convolution of each section of longer sequence with a smaller sequence is performed. Circular convolution of each section of longer sequence with a smaller sequence is performed. Zero padding is not required in overlap save add method. Zero padding is required to convert the input sequences to size of output sequences. in overlap save method. In overlap add method, the overlap samples in output are added to get the overall output. Here in the output, the last n2 minus 1 sampling or first n2 minus 1 samples are discarded. Applications, it is used in communication and signal processing. To remove the noise which are added during transmission can be removed using filter, which the operations involved in convolution. What is mean by sectioned convolution? The sectioned convolution means the larger sequence is splitted or sectioned into the size of smaller sequences. List the methods involved to compute sectioned convolution: overlap add method and overlap save method. Mention some applications of sectioned convolution. It is used in communication signal processing to remove the noise during transmission by using the filters. Find the linear convolution of x of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1 and h of n is equal to minus 1, 1 using overlap save method. We can split into 4 sequences. Find we can y1 of y1 of n, y2 of n, y3 of n, y4 of n. Finally, we can get the overall output sequences. Y of n is equal to minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. What is the difference between overlap add and overlap save method? In overlap add method, linear convolution is performed of longer sequences to get the smaller sequences. In overlap save method, circular convolution of longer sequence to compute the smaller sequences. In overlap add method, zero padding is not required. In overlap save method, zero padding is required. Thank you.